What's up, everyone? It is I, Captain Foley from Trekyards, and it is time for another Eaglemoss review. So guys, today we're going to be looking at one of the newer XL ships from Eaglemoss, and unfortunately I didn't get the magazine for this one, which is a bit of a shame, but the model is super impressive. I do want to show this to you guys, so we're just going to jump right into the model. Here it is. It is the Excelsior NCC 2000, not the NX 2000, not from Star Trek 3. This is the full-on Excelsior, the one we see in Star Trek 6, and a few other times as well. So we're going to take a look at this. No magazine, unfortunately, today, which is a shame, but as I said, it's a fantastic model, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So this is the box. You got the nice photo on the front, beautiful shot of the ship. On the side you got the standard Star Trek logo. On the other side you got all the other logos for all the other shows. Star Trek Voyager, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation, and Enterprise. On the bottom you got the Delta, the UPC code, and that's it. That's all there is to the box. Trying to kill time because I don't have the magazine. Anyway, let's open this up and see what we've got in here. Now, this on the box it says USS Excelsior Star Trek 6. So this is exclusively the Star Trek 6 Excelsior. Now, as you guys know, I have not been the hugest fan of the Excelsior over the years. A lot of people don't understand why. Come on. There we go. So, but when I got the Diamond Select Excelsior, I did a review on it, and actually it grabbed my interest. It actually made me appreciate the ship a lot more, so I'm much more of a fan of the Excelsior now. So here it is. It is quite a large ship when you compare it to the size of my hand. Let's say it's, you know, a hand and a half, if not 2 hands big. This one, when I got it initially, did come broken, but that's only because it's no fault of Eaglemoss. It's because the box got really shifted in transit. It got banged pretty heavily. The internal styrofoam was damaged. So, you know, I got a replacement one from them, but the nacelles were actually snapped off right at the secondary hull. This one, it was easy to repair. It was just a quick drop of super glue in there. And yeah, so that's the Excelsior right there. Don't worry about it being broken because it's a pretty sturdy model. Just that is kind of one little weak spot where the nacelles attached to the secondary hull. Not a big deal, guys. But overall, fantastic looking ship. Good weight to it. Very top heavy though. The saucer is pretty much all metal, at least the top part. The bottom sounds like it's plastic though. Secondary hull, it's hard to say. I think the bottom part of the secondary hull is metal. Top is definitely plastic. But overall, I mean, a fantastic looking ship. We're going to look at some of the details right now and just kind of dive into this thing. Great detail on this thing. So if we go to the saucer, you got some great Aztec-ing details there. Some lighter gray elements to kind of give it some dimensionality. It's really nice. Up front you've got the USS Excelsior NCC 2000 with the nice red striping that goes all the way around to the back, which I really like. I really appreciate that. That was something that the refit was going to have. It was dropped last minute, but you see it in a lot of Starfleet battleships and things like that as well. So to have that is a nice touch. Really adds to the look of the ship, in my opinion. Along the side here you've got the sensor bands. They're all in blue, and some white lights along the edge of the saucer there, which looks pretty good. They kind of got lost in the color. They should have had some black ones, I think, but they're all white, which looks fine. You also got the reaction control thrusters, which are painted a nice goldy yellow color, and again they've got that red accenting around them, and that goes all the way around the side of the saucer all the way to the bottom. So they actually spent a great deal of time and attention to detail on this thing, which is fantastic. So bravo to Eaglemoss. You've got the phaser banks, again gold with the red outline, and everything's lined up paint-wise. Usually there's a little bit of misalignment issues. Well, not usually. Sometimes there's a little bit of misalignment issues. This one, it looks fantastic though, so no real complaints there. Going to the bridge deck module, you've got some darker blue, almost like a bluish gray look there, with some yellow or gold accents, which again looks really great. And zooming in on the actual bridge module, you can see there's not a lot of detail there because it is so small. Now the problem with the Excelsior is the bridge module is actually way too small for the scale of the ship. So it's believed, I guess, that the bridge is more inset in the saucer than actually being straight on top. That's kind of what we go with, even though it does look like a standard bridge module. It just doesn't fit with the scale of the ship, which again is no real big issue. Moving back from that, you've got some interesting details and greeblies back here, the little raised fins, and then the some gold and blue accents in there as well. Again, looks really great. And moving to the back of the saucer, you see those impulse engines there. They look very impressive. They're not a really bright red, they're kind of a dark ruby red, but I think it looks great. Again, the ship is really growing on me. I'm really starting to appreciate it. So hopefully all you guys out there that complain that I don't like the Excelsior, you know, I apologize. It's just, you know, I'm getting there. On the side here of this impulse module, there's actually no detailing at all, which is kind of a shame. I think there should be something in there, maybe some windows or something, just to give it some kind of, it looks unfinished, that part, and I don't like that, but what can you do? Going to the bottom of the saucer, again, you got more of that Aztec-ing look. Here they've included a little bit more blue details. There were some blue details to the Aztec-ing on the top as well. However, the bottom looks absolutely gorgeous. You got the blue band around the bottom of the saucer, and everything's lined up. Everything's so perfect on this ship. It's amazing. Again, you got the phaser turrets, gold with the red accents, and NCC 2000 on the bottom there with that red pinstriping, so it looks really great. The bottom planetary sensor dome and the surrounding areas there look great. They got a little bit of detail added as far as light blue accents go, and just looks great overall. So that's that. Moving to the neck, you've got the black, the familiar black ribbed look there. It looks a lot less black than, or not, like, it looks like the original model had like a longer neck a little bit. This one I really like the stance on it. It's very, very aggressive looking, so I like that. At the front you can see the torpedo launcher tubes right there. However, they're not colored red at all. They're just inset black. Moving down to the secondary hull, at the front you've got the navigational deflector, which is a light blue clear plastic. Looks pretty nice. Maybe missing a little bit of detail in there. Would have been good to add something. However, looks good overall. You've got more torpedo tubes inset here. These are the submarine style torpedo tubes in the secondary hull, or probe launchers. They could do both. But then again, they are colored with that black, which makes it look really good. Moving back from that, you've got the Delta, which is more of an oval Delta. It looks more like the next generation one as far as shape goes. However, I mean, it should be round, but it's fine. And the pinstriping goes back, and it says Starship USS Excelsior, United Federation of Planets, and that looks good on both sides. The Delta's a little deformed and a little stretched. It almost looks like they, not stretched, but squashed. It's supposed to be round. They kind of squashed it a little bit to fit it in there. Not a huge complaint in my opinion. On the side of the secondary hull, again, you got some fantastic detailing. You've got some white windows. You got some light brown and light blue accents or hull plating, which again makes this thing look absolutely glorious. They didn't need to do that, but that addition I think really adds to the scale of this ship and really makes it look fantastic. On the bottom you got some darker blue panels here, and Going back to this area in here, this is not as detailed as it was in the actual studio model. There was actually like some clamps in there for like clamping ships or docking ships too. This is kind of very simplistic as far as that goes. It's a dark gray and no real greebly work in there, which they could have again added more detail there, but whatever, it's fine. Moving back a little further, again you got that nice Aztec hull continuing, dark blue strip again, leading all the way back to this larger section at the back here, and then some really cool greebly work back here. Actually, this is really nice in light gray. Quite a bit of detail in there, more than you'd expect. I expect more of that detail added in there, but small thing. Moving to the top of the secondary hull, you've got these long light gray segments. Again, they look absolutely perfect. No detail in there at all, but I think that works. That helps the ship out actually. Going back, continuing past the nacelle strut placement, there's very detailed area at the back here with little windows, and again those black windows look really good. They should have included some of the black windows on the saucer in my opinion, but the black windows back there look great. They look a little small again for the scale of the ship, but it's fine. You can just imagine there's observation decks or conference rooms or something back in there. Looks really nice, great detailing from the top. You got some really neat shapes in there. And moving back to the shuttle bay, it's a little bit of a disappointment. The shuttle bay is just covered over with greebly, or not greebly work, Aztec paneling. No real shuttle bay present there, which is a bit of a shame, bit of a letdown considering how good the rest of this model absolutely is. So that's a bit of a shame. But now going to the centerpiece where the nacelles connect, you got that large kind of oval shape in there. Again, blue pinstriping, red pinstriping, looks really great. The top of the nacelle struts, the Aztecing is carried over, and it looks glorious, guys. They did a really good job with this. Little arrow-like details in there, light blue with some nice line work in there. It looks fantastic. Bottom of the nacelle struts are the exact same thing. You got the red pinstriping, again those arrow details there as well, so that's great. Now moving up to the nacelles, taking a look at these, they've got a nice shape to them. I was never a fan of these nacelles, however they have grown on me quite a bit. Again, that Aztecing is continued to the front and the rear of the nacelles there. The front doesn't have a lot of detail, not supposed to, in this ship, which is great. The back, you've got the NX 2000, or sorry, I did it there, NCC 2000 on the back, and scaled appropriately, I think. It's on the inner and the outer part of the nacelle. You also got the little winglets that the refit has, although they're quite a bit bigger scale-wise in this one. And you got the little RCS thrusters on the tips of those. So again, great attention to detail. Now the plastic parts, they are like a light blue clear plastic on the top and the center stripe all the way around, which is great. You hold it up to the light, the top of the nacelle, and the whole length of it glows if it has a light behind it, and it looks really great. It's not a dark blue like I think it should be. It's more of a lighter blue, like a turquoise almost, but it works. It matches the color of the deflector. Again, I think it's a little bit light for the coloring, but it looks okay. It looks okay. The only real complaint I have is the little pinholes in them that hold them in. They kind of break up the continued light look, which you can't really blame them for. They need some way to attach that, so that's fine. And on the top, they're also kind of, they got a ribbed section on the top. Or not a ridge section, like a long ridge one that runs the length of the nacelle and just adds a nice look and a nice feel to it. So there you go, guys. That is a look at the Excelsior XL. It is a fantastic ship. I highly recommend getting one. I know there are a lot of fans of the Excelsior out there. This is one you guys have to have. This is a great ship. One of Eaglemoss' best XL ships in my opinion. I've reviewed quite a few of them. They are pretty great. Most of the XL ships are fantastically done. This is no exception. This one kind of hits it out of the park. I can't see much wrong with it, if anything. Just the deltas on the pennants are a little bit off as far as shape goes. Otherwise, alignment issues are great. You know, window placement looks fine. There's a little bit of indents for the windows along the edge of the saucer, and they seem to line up all right, although they are white, so they kind of get lost at first glance. You need to look for them. Again, I think adding some black windows in there mixed in with the white would have been a much better idea. Kind of draw your attention there a little bit. But besides that, pretty good. So guys, what we're going to do now is what we always do this time of the video. We're going to take it on over to the stand, show it on the turntable, and close out the video. And so let's head over there. I mean, yeah. Fire apart then! Alright guys, here she is on the stand. Again, I'm going to look at some of those details for you. Beautiful ship. Nicely scaled, nice large size, chunky, good weight to it, well constructed, well painted. Overall, just a 100% winner. Again, I'm not a huge fan of Eaglemoss's choice for where to place the stand. It obscures the secondary hull quite a bit depending on the light reflecting off of it. Not a huge deal. A lot of people don't mind it like that. I just wish they could find better ways to put them on the stands personally, but also this stand has a very aggressive upward angle, which again I'm not a fan of. I would much prefer it be much more straight. It's angled up so much, it just bothers me a little bit. I prefer a more straight on look for my models when I display them. But a small nitpick that most of you probably don't even agree with, so there's that. It's one of those models that on a lower shelf looks great. Just the shape of the Excelsior is such a nice shape. Elongated secondary hull and engines, and it would just look great on a low shelf. If we move to an eye level shelf with that angle, you could have it facing away from you and have a really good look at the ship still. The sideways angle, again, looks really good, except for that aggressive upward slant, but that's fine. You can see there the glow of the nacelles with the light behind them or above them. A lot of way for light to get in there, so it really shows. Also, facing towards you on an eye level shelf looks kind of cool with that upward angle. So again, I can't really complain about that too much, even though I will, because I'm just not a fan of it personally. On an upper shelf, again, you got a great look of this thing. The nacelles still have that glow to them, which is nice, and it'll look good displayed in a number of different ways, positions, however you choose to display it, depending on your ability to display it. It'll look good. It's got some great aspects to it for sure. So guys, there you have it. That is the Excelsior XL. This, because it's an XL, is exempt from this. However, if you do click the link down below and head over to Eaglemoss, you can load up your cart with a bunch of Eaglemoss ships and save yourself some money on checkout. Just use the discount code Trekyards when you check out. You'll save 15% off orders of $50 or more, so that's a great deal for you guys. So check it out if you can, if you want to pick out some of the regular ships. The code does not apply, unfortunately, to XL or Special Edition ships, but I thought it was worth talking about at least, because there is a smaller version of the Excelsior that you might be interested in as well. A little bit more cost efficient, and yeah, it's a good way to help us out by supporting the channel by using the Trekyards code and saving yourself some money. So if you want to get some Eaglemoss ships, that's a great way to do so. So I highly recommend that. So overall, guys, this is a definite, I'd say a 9 out of 10. I wish they would have done a little bit more detail work on the shuttle bay, and other than that, I mean, fix the pennant and add a couple black windows around the saucer rim. I mean, not a big deal, but 9.5 out of 10, so highly recommend it. So guys, as always, subscribe to both channels, Captain Foley's personal channel and Trekyards, and don't forget to check out other videos by us as well. So until next time, guys, I'm Captain Foley, signing off. Bye-bye.